Hi everyone, you're here sewing with Cody and Pete, and in this video it was actually a special request. This is part of the Kimberbell project that we're working on with the Kimberbell Cuties, and in this video we are actually working on, this is for the Kimberbell Cuties Volume 2 book. This is June's block. Nope, sorry, this is May's block. So this is with the butterfly. But the request is because I had a video of showing stuff that I was working on, and I did the center portion of the table topper. Which I've already done for this particular table topper. So here is the center. So we did one of these blocks. However, in this video, we're going to do one that's a little more complex. It's the butterfly. But the main purpose of this one was showing how we did the Mylar. So let's take a closer look at stitching this out, and we're actually going to stitch it out. But before we get started, make sure if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And other ways to support the channel is to use the new super thanks at the bottom, and also check out the merchant shop below. So here we are. This is one of the corners for month May in the Kimberbell Cuties. And in this video, we're not really focusing on the Kimberbell Cuties and all that. We're not really promoting that, even though it's a wonderful product. But what we're showing, and the main focus, is how to do this fun applique. So here we'll be laying down glitter vinyl, which really just gives it a nice little sheen. But I don't know if you can really see it in the video, but underneath here and here, you can see it's kind of shimmery. And what it is, it's no special thread. This is Mylar. So that's what this is. We use this a lot in some of our embroidery, but it has to be a design that's designed to use Mylar. Because what you can't see, and which is fine, but you can kind of see there's some very, very loose open stitching. And that's just there designed to hold down the Mylar. But also it's designed so the color of your thread, and a lot of times the color of the background fabric, will show through the Mylar and give it this really shimmery look, but doesn't require any special thread. So it's really easy to use. You just use your regular embroidery thread, and but it gives you a really neat look. So let's work through making one of these triangles. And so what it is, it's a cornerstone, and I'll have a picture of what the finished product will look like. And so there's 4 of these, one for each corner of the 22 by 22 table topper. And so there's batting and everything already. So we'll eventually cut on this line, and we'll sew all the pieces together to have a finished table topper. But what we're really focusing on is how we did the Mylar. But of course, we'll do the quilting and all that in the hoop as well. So I've already got my design set up. So the first thing it will do, and I'll show all this, but since I do already have a video in this, I really don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't want to occupy the video in just this. But I'll show it sped up, but what it's going to do, it's going to place down like a traditional applique. It's going to stitch down a large triangle, which is designed for me to place my batting. I'll place my batting down, it will stitch down the batting, then I'll trim the excess batting. And then the next color change will be a placement stitch to place down my fabric, which is that white polka dot fabric that you saw the butterfly stitched on. Then I'll place my fabric to cover that stitch line. Then it will stitch it down. And then at that point, it will go and do the quilting. So the first color I have in my machine is the yellow embroidery thread, which is going to be my quilting. So let's go and do all that. So one thing that we did per the instructions, which we've done with all of these Kimberbell Cuties, is all of our fabric, all of our applique fabric, all of our base fabric, it all has shape flex, which is the fusible woven that we've ironed to the back of it. And this just really helps everything hold its shape. And while we're able to get away with just one layer of stabilizer, it makes a big difference when we're embroidering. It's the same stuff I use in my collars when I make my shirts. Okay, so we've got our batting, we've got our base fabric, which is our white polka dot. So now what we're going to do is going to do the quilting, which is a really cool part of it. Okay, perfect. So now it's done doing all the quilting. So we're just going to skip to the part where it does the bottom wings. Where so is keeping the yellow because you're not going to see it. It's going to do our placement line. So here's our placement line so we know where to place our teal fabric. And because it's going to go back with a satin stitch, I'm going to still stitch in the yellow. There's no need to change threads just yet. Okay, so now it's going to do a top stitching around the edge of this orange fabric. So now it's time to change to the orange thread. But I've already got it on my multi-spool holder, so it's super easy to change. It's all up there, ready to go. Just thread the machine. So we're just going to skip ahead and get straight to the Mylar part, because the rest of it is just applique. And most of y'all are familiar with applique, and if not, we just got a good taste of it and we'll be seeing more. So let's just go straight to the Mylar insertion. Okay, so here we are up to this point. Now it's time to add the Mylar. So what we're going to do is we've got our Mylar sheets, and I'm kind of using scraps. Our pretty Mylar. And so it's going to stitch the Mylar over the whites, and then the second thread change is it's going to stitch the Mylar over the orange. So I've got some scraps here that I'm trying to salvage. So it will stitch this one first, most likely, and it'll come jump over here. Now if you're curious to see what the screen looks like, it just looks like a regular thread change. So there's what the screen looks like. Nothing really different. So what we'll do is we'll go stitch out the white. So there was the first color change with using the Mylar over the white. Now one thing about the Mylar is you only need one layer, but as I mentioned before, it's very important that you work with a design that's designed to use Mylar. Otherwise, it's most likely just going to cover it all up. You're not even going to see any of it. So there's one company that deals almost exclusively with Mylar designs, and that's Pearly Gates. Almost all of their designs are Mylar. They do have some that aren't, but they do more Mylar designs than any other embroidery design company. They've got some amazing, beautiful designs. They all stitch out absolutely amazing. I'll put the name of the company and the website in the description below. It's Pearly Gates, but they've got some amazing Mylar designs. They're not the only ones, but they are the leader in Mylar designs. They've got the most. So the next color is just going to stitch over the orange. It was probably supposed to be an orange thread, but of course I've already done 3 and I'm not going to redo them all. So we're just going to keep them all in white. It gives it kind of like a neat little two-tone effect, the white with the Mylar over the orange. All right, that's it with the Mylar. So now what you do is cut any loose little tails you may have, just so they're out of the way. And now we can just pull off the Mylar. It comes off very nicely. And also the Mylar is washable. We've had customers come in with designs on jackets and things that they've had Mylar on, and they said they've washed it. It was many years old and it's held up beautiful. So it just comes off. And so you can see, hopefully you can see how shimmery it is. And there's just no special thread, just the Mylar. Really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my butterfly and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, well, I'm almost done. There was one more thing I wanted to show you since we're working with it. So the center portion of our butterfly is going to incorporate some beautiful glitter vinyl. It's for a little bling, a little extra something. So there's one little thing it has to do. It's going to do the little antenna first, and they'll come back and stitch down the body of the butterfly. So now I've got our placement stitch. So just use some of this vinyl, stitch it down. So now we just gotta trim away the vinyl and we are done. So you just trim the vinyl right up against that triple stitching. Trim any little jump stitches you may have. And there you are. It's all done. So that's it. So that's how you do Mylar and just simple glitter vinyl applique. And it's great because the vinyl is not going to fray. Neither is the Mylar. Well, that's all we wanted to show here in this video was just how we use Mylar in embroidery, and that you need a specific embroidery design like many of the ones that come from Pearly Gates. This is a Kimberbell design. They also have a number of Mylar designs. And there are a number of other companies out there. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and as always, happy sewing.